That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes a show business. New episodes each weekday morning, 9 a.m. ThatBusinessNetwork.com, made available on iTunes. Please subscribe to us and leave a review. It helps the show grow, helps the show get found more and more by the vast listenership that's out there on iTunes, and helps get the message out of our entrepreneurs to a broader audience. So please subscribe, please leave a review, and you'll be doing a lot to help the growth of the program. My guest today is Kimberly Wilson, Director of Innovation at Lutes Learning Center, one of the most innovative educational institutions right here in our great state of Florida, known for advancing students age 2 through 8th grade and on an average of 2 years above national standards. So Kimberly, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Jamie.
So Lutes Learning Center, your mom founded this, your prototype 1.0.
1.0.
Which means you were the original student.
I was the original. She founded it when I was 2, and as an educator, she couldn't find what she was looking for in the way of early education. So sometimes if you want a job done right, you have to do it yourself.
Okay, and what year was this when this was founded?
It was 1980.
1980, and so you've always went through the private school system, or did you come out and go into the public school system afterwards?
Right, so during that time period, the school started as a preschool and was founded. It wasn't until my daughter, who is now 12, came through our pre-kindergarten program at about 2 years academically advanced that we decided that sometimes you got to do it right. You got to do it yourself if you want to do it right, and that's when we jumped into the private school realm.
We got a fly around here,
yeah,
so you see me waving my hands. I am fighting a fly, so don't get too distracted by that. Nonetheless, you're a strong advocate for individualized school choice in education.
Correct.
Talk to us about this.
Correct. I firmly believe that all of learning should be child-centered and that there shouldn't be a ceiling placed on what any individual can achieve. So within our methods, we look at education like the rungs on a ladder, and you can continue to climb, never really reaching a ceiling. And that's true in life as it is and it should be in education.
Now, the public educational system, it convinced me on why we need the private educational system, because I think in a public educational system, you learn more about life in addition to just the education. You know, you experience the bullies, you experience, the all levels of, the different, from poor to rich to, middle education. When you're in a private school, it's sort of like got blinders on a little bit. Explain to me why I'm wrong in that thinking.
I would agree with you that it's maybe a smaller sampling of the general population, but you're never going to find yourself outside of a bully in life. You're never going to find yourself just only within one certain financial demographic. So I would challenge your viewpoint on that. I don't think that private education versus charter education versus public education versus homeschool education, there isn't one size that's going to fit every individual. So my biggest advocacy is then for school choice. It's up to the parent and the family to decide what fits each unique individual, because it's not a one-size-fits-all hat.
Now, you said private, you said charter. What's the difference between those two? I would assume that's one and the same.
Commonly, charter is defined as publicly funded private school, although it's very different. There's your standard public, which we're all familiar with, and then charter allows you to come in and it's run in a more private way. There's usually a conglomerate behind that guides that, but it offers the parents school choice rather than being specifically assigned. It's usually done on a lottery-based system. However, their hands are still a little bit tied behind their back because they have to go through the testing and standardized testing, which means oftentimes to be successful on those tests, you have to teach to those tests, and it's just a whole massive rubric that you get into.
So isn't it a little bit contradictory? I mean, the public school system is funded by, federal or state dollars or however where the funds come from, and then you got a charter system, which is also public funded. Why the difference? Shouldn't they be pumping the same amount of money into both things and making it just one public education system?
Oh, it's a hot mess. And then you have scholarships such as the Step Up for Students Scholarship, which we're a participant in, that captures corporate dollars that are corporate tax dollars and allows them to be applied for children's families who meet a certain income demographic, and they can then take that money and use it at the private school of their choice. So again, that's kind of public dollars that are being used in a private way. So it's all intermingled. It really is about finding the best fit for that family. And school and the choice of the surroundings that it makes, you may want math and science, you may want arts, you may want a small intimate group because your child is that one that would be lost in the corner. It really is finding what's going to work best.
What percentage of our population goes to a private or a charter school versus public funded education?
Got me.
Is it? I mean, but it's still a small percentage, though, is what I'm getting at. Most people still go through the public education system versus private or charter school, because that's still, considered to be an elite thing if you're going to a private school. Am I not thinking correctly when I say that?
I'm completely biased. But I would say yes, the Cal Path says most families go straight through the public school education. It's those that are looking for something different, something more unique, something like homeschool, something like private school, something like charter, that maybe want something different for their child. And who is it to say that a family doesn't deserve the opportunity to give something different to their child?
But private education is still, for the people that are upper middle class because of the added cost that incurs.
I think it's changing.
It is changing.
I think it's changing.
And see, this is an area where I am uneducated in because I have no children, and so I don't even understand the basics of public education.
Well, let's lay the math out for you. So within our tuitions and within the scholarships that are available, if you fit the criteria to gain this scholarship, you could potentially have private education for somewhere between $200 and $300 a month. I think that's very affordable, especially when you look at our philosophy that you are what you eat, and it's very important to provide a whole food nutrition to a child, so lunches are included.
So this is something I didn't think you get scholarships until college. So you get scholarships for when you're younger?
Financial scholarships.
See, this is something I never heard of. Mm-hmm. And when I'd have no kids, and I grew up in West Virginia, where everybody went to the local school, and the only time the word scholarship came up was in 12th or 11th grade when you had to get ready for school or college. So you can get scholarships then for grade school level,
as young as kindergarten.
That's new to me. See, I don't know that, and it's something you probably assume a lot of people know. I don't know that, and I think that's interesting then. So how do people get in? Are they just out there everywhere, or different sites they go to and apply, sort of like
StepUpForStudents.org is the financial scholarship that I've mentioned. There's also a McKay Scholarship for students with disabilities or disadvantaged. Some of that could be ADD, ADHD. There's a broad spectrum of things that will cover. And there's also something called the Gardner Scholarship, which is a branch off of the Step Up for Students that provides the parent almost like a checking account in which they can advocate for their child. They can access special services through that account. They can access schooling. So there's a lot of school choice options that are opening up.
Wow, is this something that has developed more and more over the last 10, 15 years?
Probably the last 5 years have been very pivotal.
Okay.
Pivotal.
Because I had never heard of having a scholarship, until anything other than a college. I didn't know you could get scholarships, ahead of, those college years. So very interesting. Lutes Learning Center, the school that you're currently running.
Correct.
These scholarships apply to your school too?
They absolutely do.
Very cool.
And if you want help with it, feel free to contact me.
And you're also a two-time published author, and your most recent book here is with me in studio, Smart Cookie. So let's talk a little bit about this. Tell me about this book.
This book was an act of pure love. It's about 36,000 words of all of my good information combined with my mother's, who assisted me in kind of getting some of the information together. And it is recipes for raising a genius. So I have so many parent conferences and conversations about how do I battle this and how do I get in front of that. This is your recipe that you can custom create that helps you It helps you get in front of raising a smart child. As parents, it's so easy to get outsmarted by your own smart cookie. Parenting isn't cookie cutter. I could go on with the puns. This is how you can create your own blueprint.
Now, the book has been called The Owner's Manual for Raising Smart Kids. Why did you write this book?
I wrote this so that parents had that foundation. The book starts off with, how do you see your child to be successful? As what is a successful person? What do you want for your child as an adult? It talks about adaptations that you can create, and it asks a parent the questions necessary to make a decision. You would never go into battle without your armor. This allows you to get in front of the situations before they ever happen.
Who did all the illustrations in the book?
My daughter, Kimberly, my eldest, came through and did all of the graphics, and you met her on your show a few times back.
Yeah, she even answered some interview questions like a pro, too. I think she was like 9 or something at the time.
Well, yep, and she's 12 now, so she did all of my illustrations, and I'm very proud of that as well.
Very cool. Talk to me about, what parents will get from reading this book, some of the takeaways, maybe some of the feedback that you've gotten from people that have read the book.
For me, the things that I have heard back is that it helps them establish the foundation for expectations. You get kind of blown away when you have this beautiful child who comes to you that can't take care of itself at all. And then very quickly, within about 1 year, they understand a full language. And then moving forward, they just continue to blow you away. And you don't know where to really set your expectation of what can they achieve. This helps them understand, not just what they can achieve, but how to get in front of it as well, and how to make a plan.
Availability of the book. Where can people find this book?
You can find it on Amazon.com.
And has it reached, talk to me about releasing the extra one. I want to say, talk to me about this book and what it's done for your business.
What it's done for our business. That's a good one. I would say, we have it available for purchase inside of the school. I haven't done a lot to tie it back straight into the school just because it's so fresh and so released, but a lot of our clients have picked it up and found that they've enjoyed reading it. And a lot of people outside of the field have even said, gosh, this is a great framework to help with employee management.
One thing I always like to stress, the reason I ask that question, is because books act like business cards for businesses. Even if they're not making money, which most of them don't make you money, they're there to provide credibility and also set you apart from your competition.
Correct.
And
Correct.
having that book inside of the Lutes Learning Center shows that you know how to take care of my child, if I'm putting the kid into a public education system. I still don't have a kid, so I'm not going to be one of the clients, unfortunately. I apologize. So, but if you got any...
you can come for lunch, though.
If you got any single girlfriends, though, looking for a date, though, I'm still available out there.
You can troll my social media and see what you want.
Summer is right around the corner. What do you do with kids when they are not in school? We're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. A schedule she's going to recommend that you put your kids on to keep some sanity in your household when they're running all around and stuff. So got a lot more with Kimberly Wilson, Director of Innovation of the Lutes Learning Center, when we come back from the break on That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Today, we're talking about the business of education with Kimberly Wilson, Director of Innovation at the Lutes Learning Center, my hometown right now up in Lutes, Florida. A great little community, and they're right around the corner from me. So if you've got children age 2 to 8th grade, give them a call and consider putting them in private education and help your kid get a step up on the rest at the Lutes Learning Center. So Kim, it's summertime, right now. What do you do with the children when they're out of school?
And how do you keep them from losing all of those academic gains that you've worked hard for all year? So I've got a couple of suggestions for you as you move forward, and I'm going to give you 3 different topics that you can cover. I'm a big advocate of themed learning because I feel that engages a child. Many children get deep into dinosaurs. Do you like dinosaurs?
I love dinosaurs.
So what's your favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
Okay.
I
Why
like
do you
Stegosaurus. I like Stegosaurus too. He was pretty
favorite.
cool too.
Yeah.
Pterodactyls I like too. So yeah.
So, if you were my child, since you don't have a child, I'll just adopt you real quick. We would go on studying T-Rex. I'd throw in some Brontosaurus because that's my guy, Stegosaurus, and we'd also look at pterodactyls. And we'd talk about the features of all of those different dinosaurs, and we could work on classifying them. There's several. You've got your meat eater there. You've got, pterodactyl is what?
A bird.
Of prey.
A bird of prey.
There you go. You're doing good. Oh, I'm so proud.
And then Brontosaurus, he eats the trees, right? He's the one with the big long neck, right?
Right. So he is what?
He's a leaf eater or a vegetarian.
Sure.
Okay.
So then we could turn around and we could hide some things in the sand and go on a dig. We could learn all about what a paleontologist does and their responsibilities. We could measure what we find, and we could turn around and record those things that we find, do some classification, some comparisons, some math, some science. Locally, we have Dino World, which we could go and take a trip to and learn all about your 3 favorite dinosaurs to really engage you in that process. Sounds like a great time, right?
It does.
But now we've brought in reading, we've brought in writing, we've brought in math, we've brought in science, and all of those pieces that you as a child need to keep that brain thinking and staying on it.
Can we show them Jurassic Park, or is that a little bit too early for your children?
How old are you?
At least that latest one was a little bit intense, And
I'd have to check the ratings.
Yeah, this latest one where the T-Rex is recreated into some artificially intelligent being and stuff. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit up there. Need to wait on the showing them that one.
Well, and I'm not a big advocate of movies unless you're really tying it back into.
But all children love dinosaurs. They all go through that phase. I don't know what it is about dinosaurs, but I remember going through that dinosaur phase. I remember going to the Smithsonian and seeing the skeletons of the dinosaurs. It's something I think it's just a part of being a child is you get fascinated with dinosaurs.
Absolutely.
Do you see that in the Lutes Learning Center a lot?
Absolutely.
Even without bringing up the topic?
Absolutely. This week we are studying dinosaurs within our school. So the children are learning to become paleontologists, and they're doing the exact digs that I'm talking about. In fact, the other 2 topics that I have to suggest are also straight out of our summer camp curriculum. So if as a parent you're looking for more, you can go to luteslearning.com/summer and click on our upper level camps, and you can look through some of those topics to gain inspiration. Another one that I have is make-believe. Every child loves make-believe, and you can use that to help engage what I call child-centered play, which means you're allowing the child to expand upon what interests them the most, which means you're going to gain the most engagement because it's their idea. So whether you want to be a knight in shining armor or you want to be a knight at the round table, when you're playing make-believe, the sky is the limit, and it's all about listening to your child and allowing them to decide, well, so what did you want to be?
What did I want to be when I was a baseball player? I was going to be a baseball player.
Okay, so if we're playing make-believe and we're playing baseball players, then you get to design your costumes, and you have planning, and you get to pick out your team, and you have to decide which position that you want to play, and you can research all about that, and then you can recruit some friends in the neighborhood or family and friends in order to play along with you and assign out the roles, and you can be the team captain or you can be second base. It's all about what you're deciding, but it's the parent's job to help bring that to fruition. And make every moment a learning moment.
I think that's a good parenting. They look, because every parent has the vision of what their kid is to become, but you got to look at what the kid is naturally attracted to and encourage those skills and that development of that mindset, of that capacity, even if it's in a field that you don't know anything about. If they're naturally artistic and you're an engineer, you shouldn't dissuade them and try to get them to be in it, because you're really hurting the child, in my opinion. How would you advise on people who try to redirect the children to what they believe they should be learning?
Well, you do have to redirect the children to what you believe they should be learning, or they're probably always going to be doing finger painting and maybe even eating Play-Doh. So,
but even within those traits, there's
right.
something in there that you could tie to,
I can see like making Play-Doh.
Maybe not eating the Play-Doh, but nonetheless, the finger painting is
right.
a sign that they're artistic.
Correct.
And,
Correct.
And if you're this big jock football player, says, oh, my kid's going to be a football player, and they only want to, sing and do art, you shouldn't pull them away from the
right.
art because
right.
you're the big jock football player.
I actually believe in everything in moderation. So when you think of the brain as a muscle, you want to help establish the most firings that you can inside of that child's head. And so having exposure to sports teaches so many. You got sportsmanship and team playing and how to manipulate your peers in a successful way. Art has all of its fine pieces that help bring engagement and help build an active mind. So I would say you just want to allow that child to experience everything. Eventually they're going to hone in, usually around 2nd or 3rd grade, to their niche, and they're going to kind of niche in. But you don't want to allow them to overdo it in that one piece, or they're going to burn out from that.
Right. And another one of my make-believes was a rock star. I wanted to be a rock star. Wanted to be a singer.
You were killing it.
Yeah, but I wanted to be singing in front of thousands, and some hard rocks. I grew up in the 80s with Metallica, Guns N' Roses. I wanted to be Axl Rose. I wanted to be James Hetfield of Metallica.
Okay.
That's who I wanted to be.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen because I can't sing. That's a whole other topic. We're talking about themed learning here, dinosaurs, right. Make-believe. What else can we do with the children?
Safari. Go on safari. Our town is a great town to get out and explore. It's summer, it's beautiful. You can go on safari. You can learn all about your own environment. Lettuce Lake Park is one of my personal favorites. They've got a fantastic boardwalk and a lookout tower. You can pre-research all of the local native plants, native birds, amphibious life. You'll probably see a crocodile. You'll see lots of turtles. You can identify the different type of turtles that they are. You can get your hat and your binoculars and chart your findings and just go explore. And again, that's another themed learning. You've got math, science, exploration, research, everything that you need to build truly a successful individual coming into just going on safari.
So is themed learning the backbone of what you do at Lutes Learning Center throughout the year too?
It is. During summer we do one theme a week. During the school year we'll use a theme a month that allows us to engage the children in the learning process and then give them lots of child choice. And so these things that we've identified today, you've had lots of choice in where we're going and what we're doing, and that is the basis behind how we teach, is to involve a child in that which interests them and then pursue it with a certain framework of how they're going to achieve that knowledge.
Very cool. So what's coming up at the Lutes Learning Center? What's on the horizon? What do you have planned?
We've got some pretty big news. We're very excited to be diving into the homeschool realm. And what that means is there are a number of parents who don't fit in that normal 9 to 4 education bracket for a number of reasons. What we've found is that many parents don't feel like the pace is fast enough for their child to achieve, and so you're squandering a child's time. And when you're wasting a child's time, that's time that you can't get back. They may have another hobby or another sport. My neighbor is very good at tennis and has to be at tennis at 1 o'clock every day. So that puts education into a unique place for their family in order to try to organize the child's schedule.
So what's involved in becoming a parent who homeschools their child? Do they have to go through any type of program or educational system, or can they just say, hey, I'm going to homeschool my child?
The years up until high school are pretty simple as far as their requirements, and I don't have as much information to advise you on how to become a homeschool parent as I would like, but I can tell you that the curriculum that we've put forward that allows parents the flexibility of schedule and to dive into deep and enriched learning, which is what we're known for, is truly just coming down the pipeline now. It's just hit our website under our programs pages where you can see what the options are. It's a several day a week program instead of that consistent show up. Our school runs from 8:15 until 2:15, so it allows for more flexibility for the family and also that deep engagement that they're looking for from professionals you can trust.
So Lutes Learning Center, your prototype 1.0, what is it today? Talk to me about Lutes Learning Center, how it's evolved today, what it is, students, how many people have you put through roughly, the school system? Tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, goodness. Well, we'll be celebrating 38 years this November. We typically graduate around 30 pre-kindergarten children out of our preschool each year into their kindergarten bracket. And then the school itself is very, very small. And I love how small it is because it's like Cheers. Do you remember that show?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Everybody knows your name. And so it's that high intimacy and accountability. You're not going to bully or tease the child that you sit next to at lunch every single day because everybody is going to know it. You're going to know their mom. You're going to know their dad. We are anti-car line philosophy. We want parents to come in every single day, drop their child off to their child's teacher, say good morning, and confer any concerns or positives, or really you're delivering your most precious person in your life. So you don't want to do that by letting them get out of a car and say goodbye. You want to say, here's my child, here's what you need to know for the day. And then we do the same on the flip side as well.
People are going to learn more, luteslearning.com. Kimberly Wilson, Director of Innovation. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you for
discussion
having me.
on what's going on with our educational system here in the Lutz/Tampa Bay region. Luteslearning.com or 813-949-3484. 813-949-3484. You've been listening to the all-new That Business Show 2.0. Be sure to connect with us all across social media, facebook.com/That Business Show. Find us on Twitter @ThatBizShow. If you'd like to come onto the program, please visit tbsinterview.com for more information. New episodes each weekday morning at 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.